I'm Eric Roberts, and this is a legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Ho, ho, hello, everybody. Cheers. I got my Sippin' Santa coconut mug with a little bit of eggnog. Cheers to you. It's time for the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Are you happy? Are you ready? I'm ready. We are talking today about The War and the Land and the Sea coming out in the UK on December 7th, so in a few days' time. Here in North America and the rest of the world, that's the official air date. Sometime in 2026. By which point, spoiler of my predictions, I think everyone will have already seen it through other means. So that Disney is making a huge error by doing this, but that's not the point. We've got a whole crew here. Speaking of the UK, coming from the other side of the pond, Candyman, how you doing?
Not too bad. I'm looking forward to this show and to this show as well. I just don't want my bank balance to go down again, which I probably will do because there's more uniforms.
Yep. Haha. That'll teach you to cosplay.
There's so much unit costumes. Every time there's a new unit episode, they change the costumes. I'm not happy. I am happy, but it just means more money I have to spend on it.
Yeah, exactly. Coming back to this side of things, returning after a long absence, our philosophy is, Sean, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really, really glad to be back. I had intended to review the Two Doctors last week, but I got my dates mixed up in my calendar. That is my bad, but it's great to be back, and I'm excited to talk about the war between the land and the sea.
30-second review. Just give me your 1 to 10. What is it for Two Doctors? 1 to 10 TARDISes.
I'll tell you what. I'll give the Two Doctors like a 6. And I think it might be higher if it weren't for the fact that this episode just makes me really freaking uncomfortable a lot of the time. I love both of those doctors, and I'm a big stan of the Sixth Doctor. But like the stuff with the meat, it's just so strange, and It just takes it down for me. But overall, I'm glad to see the two of them back, and yeah, I thought it was really enjoyable. I was pretty ecstatic when I saw it the first time because I didn't know when I was going through Classic Who that it was a thing, and I'm glad we got another Classic Who multi-doctor story.
There you go, and that puts you on par with everybody else. The average rating was around that 6 area.
And
speaking of 6,
oh sorry,
that's okay. We'll bring speed of a 6 because we'll bring in Christian. That's your segue, my friend.
Yeah, and just for
Speed
people who
I
mentioned this last week, but now this room has gotten a lot tighter. In fact, if you see the curtain, it's just disoriented because there's boxes and stuff being moved around, and it's a cluster in my workspace. So I'm hoping I want to thank my roommate. Hopefully this all works out, but for Christmas, he's given me his old computer, which is supposed to be a better processor than the one I have. So it's sitting here and believe it or not, when we were getting ready, I moved my chair and accidentally hit the computer. It is literally right behind my chair. This is how tight this room is. In fact, the curtain itself is sitting on a box right now, man. If you can see how disoriented everything is, yeah, we're getting ready for Christmas, and we got stuff all over the place. But the Land Between the War and the Sea, which we need. I always thought maybe he needed to like do a title acronym like Tourchwood. It's an anagram for Doctor Who, and I thought the Land Between the War and the Sea is a little bit just like way too lengthy. And I keep on forgetting. It's like, how's that go again? Or did they just say the war, between the land and the sea, or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion on that.
It's coming more like anime titles now, which is like so long. It's like a sentence rather than a title nowadays. So it's in line with that.
I know, but when you're like hashtagging it or you're explaining it to friends, and then sometimes I have to sit back and it goes, is it the war between the land and the sea, or is it the war between land and sea?
Yeah, I know. That's really confusing.
That throws me off. And it's just like, why can't you just make it simple? You know what? Like you said, Mark, unit. The War of the Sea, or something like that. Something really simple. And I feel bad for you, Mark, because now you're going to go broke.
I just call it war. That's what I've been saying. I've just been saying war.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
That's right.
Cheers.
Sipping Santa. That just sounds so wrong.
Raj, I don't know if you know, and we'll let you on. I know some people are having issues out that on StreamYard, there are 2 live feeds actually going on. So if you go back to the YouTube page, and you will see that there's 2 streams going on for the same episode, but one of them is the one where we have, if you're using your phone, like I'll show you what mine is. That I'm keeping track of what's going on. That's the phone version, but if you go out and use the other one, it has the landscape version. So if you want to see the whole thing, you can just back out, go into the landscape version. It's the one that doesn't have the cell phone in the title. I noticed when I've been setting these up, when we do the live stream and we separate the 2, there's one with the cell phone icon at the end. So that's how you can distinguish between the 2.
Of course, it's a long title, so I can't see a cell phone title on either of them.
Well, okay, if you pull up one and it looks like this, and you want to
go out and pick the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do have to go to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS's YouTube page for that, and it'll do the thing. I don't know what the Twitch feed looks like. I haven't looked at that. I think Twitch is probably the standard.
I haven't seen Twitches either.
Yeah,
I haven't actually watched it on X. And we get sometimes we have like a large audience just show up from X. I'm just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, we haven't for a couple of weeks. That's interesting. But now,
Raj, let's go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jules is in here. Thank you, Raj.
Definitely.
So yeah, it is getting smaller on the inside of my studio. Hopefully by the time that everything, as we get closer to Christmas and we start moving this stuff out, hopefully by next year, I will have my studio back and it'll look a little different too.
Yeah. I'm having to I have to change my entire orientation when I do Horses on Film and Happiness Patrol, because I've got all of this Christmas stuff behind me. I have to take down this Christmas quilt and move my whole setup 45 degrees this way just to cut all the Christmas stuff out, because I'm filming stuff for, the new year.
Right.
In advance. And it's like, and it looks worse because if nothing else, I've got like the lights coming at me from the side. It's just, the space is not ideal for that angle.
I just got the candy behind me.
That's all it needs. We need to find like a one size fits all everything.
The light in here
for all the shows
quite good enough for it. It especially when I wear for Horses on Film, I wear my cowboy hat and it takes the edges off of it. Makes it look kind of like a weird bald cap kind of thing.
Right.
Glare. It's like Rudolph's nose.
Yeah.
Full power.
Man can. It's all shiny on Mark's side of everything. So
yeah. But we've got a great show for you here. At the end of the show, we got some cool stuff. I've got another thing of mystery dice to open. Holiday mystery dice from 1985 games. We've got our predictions from Land of the Sea, of course. But first, let's bring up the news and see what Gadget has to say for herself.
Gadget. Gadget. Gadget.
Christian, I told you, you're not the only one that things are crawling in on.
I have 2 boxes that are like pinned up against me. I'm like, if I move the
You
computer
notice the
right
tree is
behind me.
getting closer.
I know. I see it. I see.
It's getting closer because I have to still fix a bedroom. We finally found a bed that I can put together and everything. So that everything, wrought iron is all over the place in that damn bedroom right now with screws and Allen wrenches and everything. I want my apartment back. I want a stove too. They have to fix the kitchen still. The bedroom is the bedroom's taking like 2 years.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube channel if you're especially out there. Because
and if you guys see the wonderful concoction I made there, maybe we'll have bags one day and everything. Gotcha. But the news has been light because, like you said, it's basically AI fakes. War between the land and the sea, people already seeing all the episodes and telling us yay or nay, and then our birthdays and everything else. So do you want happy news like birthdays, or do you want to talk about like really nothing and everything and stuff? Because it's been that bad with these fakes and all these crazy notions or anything. The only highlight was the fact that people in the UK will actually be able definitely to see it. I know Mark is going to be having fun watching that and telling us everything and stuff. But me, I'm mixed on it because from what I'm hearing and seeing from other people, they say it has a Torchwood connection. I don't see it. Unless I see Jack sitting there.
I think story-wise, they have a Torchwood connection because I did read among that they're trying to connect the dots with Torchwood.
Yeah, but I don't see it. I can't see it unless he's going to surprise them all because he did dye his hair back brown.
I don't know if he's Alonzo, but that would be interesting.
That would be good, crazy, right? And everything.
Yeah. And the girl who played, what was it? Martha Jones's cousin, I think, is playing Salt.
Yes.
The other half, we'll wait until they show that there's some kind of connection there. That's just the way that
it's interesting because that's why I'm saying I'm trying to do my own homework and seeing all this, and I'm like, okay, are we just recycling actors because of what happened with the merger and the non-disclosures of Disney and everything?
That's how the BBC works.
Just cinema. That's the problem.
I was so confused for a second, Christian, because I was thinking the girl who played Martha Jones's cousin was also Freema, but that's not true, is it? I think she.
Oh, there was another, the sister or the cousin, whoever it is.
Yeah, it was
cousin. Yeah,
you're talking about a different character.
Yes.
Yes, she plays Salt in the land between the ocean and the fish.
Whatever.
Yes, that's the name. We should call it that.
For the rest of the night, I will mispronounce the title.
I think everybody mispronounces this thing.
I mean, it's really hard to remember the title Under the Sea.
No,
with Sebastian.
Just think of it this way. I had a restaurant here called Land and Sea. There used to be a restaurant down here on Broadway called the Land and the Sea. We used to eat there all the time before they demolished it. So yeah, so that's the only reason I can remember it and everything.
And it's no longer part of your world. I'm sorry.
Nope, no longer. It's we don't know what it is right now. It's still a hole with borders around it and everything for the last 5 years. Craziness. But even more crazy are these birthdays that we especially this one. I can't. I'm gonna start with Kevin. I have to because I'm gonna start crying because like I guys told you, I met Kevin while I was acting. He was also a benefit to 9/11. He was helping after the aftermath, giving out food and everything, helping people just get back on their feet and everything. And it's sad that we lost him and everything, but he was a he was a hero in himself. So it was just that he would have been 70 years old on the 30th of November. Could you believe that? and he was Batman. He was Batman. I mean, I got lost trying to find this place, and he had just dropped his friend off there for doing some extra work and everything. And he just sweet guy, the sweetest person you could meet. Would always. That's why everyone said he was a big help during 9/11. He was a big help for people in the industry, and it's sad that we lost him. But happy birthday, Kevin, because you were like the best.
I think he spans 2 generations.
Yep.
Going for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
And at least for like Adam West, he was the 66 Batman, Michael was the 9 Batman, but this guy spanned 2 generations. God knows how many animated series per se that he was involved in. He just had that distinct voice that if you heard it, you
knew.
Yeah, within seconds you knew it was Kevin. It
Mm-hmm.
was.
I think creator, and if this is the same person I'm thinking of, there is a creator on YouTube named Matt Baum, and he does documentaries and videos about queer actors, and I believe he did a whole episode about him and how he got the role for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's the same guy, yeah.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Yeah, he was a gem. He just said he was dropping off his friend for acting and said, it's right over there, sweetie. And I said, yeah, I'm nervous. It was like my first couple of, because it was right. I had just started that January of 2001, and 9/11 happened, everything. And he was like, don't worry, it's all safe in there and stuff. And we had a nice conversation and stuff. So sweet guy and everything. And I regret I never got to see him again after that. Like I would text a little bit, but that was it. And then he got very busy because there was another season of Batman that came up and everything. But yeah, 70 years old. I wish he was still here. Like a bunch of people I wish were still here.
I'm doing this from memory. I don't even think he knew what the TARDIS was.
Mm-mm.
I wanted to get his picture, but he had no clue. He was holding it and was just like, oh, what do you want me to do with this? I'm like, hold it.
That would be him, yeah.
Yeah, I said, be Batman. What else would you do? He goes, okay, I'll be Batman. And there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sadly, yeah, 70 years old. I can't. He didn't even look a day. It was just. We all think it could have been what happened, that he was down here with 9/11 because of everything, but they still can't confirm nor deny it. Unless you talk to a few people.
Every time I've seen a picture of him, he's always he looks frail looking, and the only time I hadn't seen it, he looked different when he did that multiverse with
that. I was shocked he did, because he was debating that so bad
of not doing it, or
yeah, he was. That was at the time when he was really bad, and they didn't know if he was going to do it or not. And that one, I can tell you guys, that was a miracle. That was a miracle, because that was
seeing him as a bad guy. That's what made me, spoiler alert. I just hated him being a bad guy. I wanted him to be like.
I think that's the one thing I think he wanted to do, because he was always the good guy. Because you see, he plays the good guy no matter what. Just a vigilante version and everything. But yeah, I can't. It's like I'm trying not to cry. And then speaking of other birthdays that had everybody crying at the end of her episode, it was Karen Gilliam and everything. She turns 38, and she was on the 28th of November, and she celebrated with her husband and her little baby, which is not a baby anymore, and stuff. God, she's what, a year now and everything. And there she is with her mom.
No, it's her daughter.
That's her
daughter. Sorry,
daughter. That's right.
Yeah, I'm just like out of it right now, because that's why I wanted to get that out of the way, because I'm so distracted because of that. But yeah, those two need to have their own comedy show. Those two need to, but right now I think Karen's working on a few other projects. I'm just trying to see what the last one was, because she said she was taking a break for a little bit. Yeah, the last one was the where is it? I just had it up. I'm so sorry, guys. I think she was working on a book or something at the moment.
Mark, I think these
Queen Mary Tudor she was supposed to be playing, and that was the last thing I heard. Yeah.
Mark, I thought this Karen and Alex were in a movie together, and it was actually, I don't remember the movie, but I just remember seeing a scene on YouTube where I think Karen's character had slept with Alex's husband or something like that.
It's not a movie I've come across. to be perfectly honest with you.
No, that's not, it was just by chance I was scrolling.
Was it a comedy drama?
Oh, it was not a comedy drama. At least in the moment, it was just like, oh, they were throwing down on each other.
Because I'm looking at some of her stuff right now, and what she was in and everything. She appeared in The Call of the Wild, Gunpowder Milkshake. She's been in a couple of Disney things.
With the exception of the Jumanji films, I haven't really been following on Karen.
And there's a toss-up. That's why they haven't mentioned it and everything. But there might be a contract signed for Jumanji, the next one. But that's up.
She's great in Jumanji, too.
Mm-hmm. Because the next movie is supposed to be the compilation of the whole series and everything, where now it's in the real world again. So I think it's just scheduling conflicts is what's holding everybody back right now. And I think after what The Rock losing a little bit of weight for a role, I think they're trying to build him back up as well.
But nothing beats of original Jumanji, I'm afraid. Sorry.
No, that's fair.
That's a good one and everything.
No, I like the meme. What year is it? It's so relevant so often.
What year is it anyway?
And Rose Kirby says, "Hey, I want to wish everyone happy second." I haven't even. I never tracked on individual episodes that much, but she says, "Hey, I want to wish everyone a happy second anniversary of Doctor Who special Wild Blue Yonder."
That was.
Yeah, Dave, if I'm not mistaken, that's your favorite of the 60th anniversary, right?
Yeah,
and mine too. My jaw was on the floor.
That was my worst one.
Literally.
Yeah, I know you didn't care for it, Candyman.
Zero.
Lots of opinions out there.
Mm-hmm. But we are going to celebrate. Well, actually, I found his full correct name and everything. Our next birthday, they're saying his full name is Mohinder Puraba, or as everyone knows him, Deep Roy. And he turned 68 yesterday. And most of you guys know him from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Neverending Story, Return to Oz. He's been in a lot of sci-fi and fantasy dramas and comedies. And basically, I'm trying to see the same thing too, like what he has coming up, because a lot of the actors are in high demand right now and everything, because the season with this AI and everything, everyone's really trying their best to keep their jobs and everything. And looks like he is on hiatus for a little bit. His last one was a music video with the Oompa Loompas as a role for Pedro Sampano and Luisa Sonia in 2021, but that was the last time it looks like he had anything really coming up in the industry and everything. Otherwise, he's on hiatus as well and stuff. So it's getting scary out there that they could just CGI. Like, he's actually, wasn't he CGI'd in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as all the influencers? That's what I'm saying. But
there was no CGI when he did
it, right? No.
I think when they had the multiple dancers, I think he was CGI'd.
Yeah, he was.
For that part.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine
he was the only one.
So think of that, how AI is going to progress further even with that now, because you just need one actor to do one thing. Just alter them. And
Deep has the pleasure of being all over the geekdom, because he was Yoda in Star Wars. He was he was that alien thing in Star Trek, the movie reboots with Chris Pine. And so he can lay claim, like David Warner, that he was all over the place.
In 2001, he was in Big Fish in 2003. Like, he has got under his belt. But the first one, they said, this is hysterical, is that he was in the Pink Panther Strikes Again as the Italian assassin. The year I was born, in 76. So imagine, that is like your first role, you're playing an Italian assassin. And the last role, you're in a music video playing Oompa Loompas. Well,
I thought he was much older, because he's 60-something right now, if I'm not mistaken. And he was... His claim to fame in the Doctor Who was one of my favorite episodes, The Talons of Wang Chiang. That was, I think, 74.
He's 68 years old.
So, I wonder how old he was
1957.
then. Yeah, I wonder how old he was when he did Doctor Who.
1974 is when that episode.
76 was the first role he ever did.
I just want to say hi to Nick here watching. New viewer. Yes, we're going to be talking about The War in the Land and the Sea. The new.
He actually was a stuntman, puppeteer, actor. Like, there's a whole thing he's done. He's got so much under his belt. It's not funny. So he's if he wants to retire now, he's all set. You know.
Gotcha.
He hit everything. He got everything under his belt. But we do have a funny thing about the TARDIS and that bag behind me and stuff and everything. When I was at the parade, like I said, I got to be able to see things and all the other stuff. And who did I see but Cynthia Erivo walking by? And I'm shaking the TARDIS. And she looks and she goes, she's like this. And she goes, like that and everything. And I'm like, are you pointing like this? And she goes, like that. Yeah. So she waved at the TARDIS while she was waving at everybody else. So she was like, because she looked up and she was like, huh? And everything. And we also only was able to get one family with the TARDIS because of how tightly knit it was there. Doug and Sarah, they were from Virginia. Their friend was actually running the sound checks and everything for Macy's. And he had to go out. Their friend had to go out to the Emmys later that night and everything and stuff. They were telling me stories and stuff. But Cynthia did the opening. It was beautiful and stuff. And then 2 rows below me was Dolly, Ollie. It's Mama Jill and Doll. They are on Instagram, and she seems to have been very upset that I didn't get to catch her in our comments because she ran so fast. Like, it was that cold that day. Everybody just ran and stuff. We were freezing. But would I do it again? Yes. Would I do it on 34th Street? Yes, because all I saw were balloons and that was it. And the stars going like this. And I got to see Journey. They're all freezing. They're all on the things freezing as they're running them through. But when they got to 34th is when they were singing or lip syncing, and allegedly, and all the others. But everybody was freezing on those floats. The only one they stopped close to us was Busta Rhymes. And I
had to sit there and think about it. It's like Busta Rhymes is on a parade float.
Yeah. If you're looking at all my pictures, you're seeing he's on the Turtles float. And everyone forgot that he was in the Turtles movie soundtrack when they did TMNTLE Power. Yeah.
Did your brain just reject that set of stimuli, Christian?
It's not. No, as funny as it sounds, I'm used to it because if you've seen previous Macy's Days Parade, all of a sudden, you know, they have all these celebrities and stuff, and there's always that one celebrity like he needs a new swimming pool, so he's gonna go on the float. I mean, he's just like, he's not doing well this, or he's like Junior needs a new pony, something.
Well, we felt bad because during practice the night before, one of the K-pop demon hunters, she slid off the stage with the rain because all that night before was all rain and all everything. So we were hoping she was okay. So we're wondering that's why the float wasn't out fully through the thing, because we only saw Derpy and Sus. And basically it was like mostly all the other stars. Megan or Meg from Zombies 3, she went by fast. But when everybody saw, I think it was Journey, or Foreigner, or whoever's playing in Stranger Things, we didn't get to see them until one of the singers came out. We were all like, what the hell? We didn't know they were on there. We thought they were going to wait down there. And then everybody else started coming out. Patty, like LaBelle, like, you know, everybody was just having fun, but it was cold and everything. And some people did spot the bag. Some people actually said to me that they did not even recognize me. And I was like shocked. And Christian, one guy met you at MegaCon with his friend. His friend's name I do remember is Carlos, because my cousin has the same name. But I can't remember this guy's name. And he said his son was playing in the band at Macy's, and he's met you every time at MegaCon. He's a job recruiter, and I wish I wrote his name down and stuff, but he says he'll see you. He took my business card, so he says if he does go to MegaCon, he's going to show you and stuff. But otherwise, it was a fun day. Would I do it again? If it's a little warmer, yes, and more so promote you guys, because I did have one snafu. One lady was like, can you put that thing away? It's bothering me, because she didn't know how to take pictures, and I was getting hats and everybody else and things in my pictures, and she just didn't like the TARDIS.
She didn't like Squish. Did she even know what Squishy was?
And then the people around me were explaining it to her. This is Doctor Who. This is fun. And she's like, "What's Doctor Who?"
Yeah.
Yeah. She's one of those.
That's fine. It's time to convert her.
This is why we're going to educate her.
Yeah.
Come tell her watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a quick question, because being a British guy, I've never even been to a Macy's parade.
That was my first one.
Is it Macy's do it in different states, or is it just in New York? I don't know.
Macy's owns the one in New York. It started technically it's 102 years old, but because of the war and everything, the theme again, the war and stuff, they had to bring it back a couple years. Plus, a lot of the balloons were destroyed because either when it first started, if you found one of the balloons, you were given a gift certificate to Macy's back in the 1920s and 30s and stuff. Well, when the war happened, they actually chopped up the balloons and everything to make parachutes and other essentials because rubber was basically needed at the time. So whatever you see in those old videos, that's all you see. The dragon doesn't exist anymore. A lot of them, stuff my grandparents told me about, were like I never saw and everything, and they're destroyed over time and everything. Some are in museums, but Macy's controls that whole thing. And next year is going to be the official 100, but it's really going to be the 103rd anniversary of the parade.
I'm actually glad you guys mentioned the Macy's Day Parade, because there is another Macy's Day Parade that people don't think about over at Universal Studios. Hollywood, Orlando, and I believe Japan, if I'm not mistaken. And as funny as you guys have mentioned that, I'll just give you the sneak preview. I brought the pictures and took a few pictures of the Traveling TARDIS over at Universal Studios and they're going to be going.
Please tell me you got the Grinch.
I have not gotten the Grinch yet. He was out. I was at. He's over at Islands of Adventure, and I started over at Universal Prime itself because I wanted to see the parade, and the parade did come around, and I got quite a few great pictures of the parade itself. The still walkers coming out and looking at the.
Yeah, we had those still walkers. We had the Native Americans come out. We had. It was a good parade. It's just I would love to have seen the entertainment part of it too that you see on TV and stuff. And a lot of people were mad because we got to see it first before everybody else as it went down the block. And I almost got you pictures. Here's another thing. I almost got you pictures at Strawberry Field where John Lennon with the Imagine Circle. But because of how they were breaking it down the parade for safety reasons, nobody could get to that part of the parade for another hour or two. So I was like, I'll do it another day when it's warmer or something. Because I was not that far from where John Lennon lived and where he would spend days in that park. It was only 2 blocks away.
I will not, just for people who are interested, just in case, I will not say the location because I don't want to give too much away, but I did work for a attractions park that had a parade. Now, everybody thinks when they're watching the TV parade, like for Disney, Universal, and all those guys, they think that that's happening live at those theme parks. It's not. It's not. In fact, I remember working one park for the time being, and what they do is to film it, they will send out one float. And I don't think I'm giving out too much away because if you really think about it,
we have lip syncing here, so yeah, you're not giving much away.
Well, if you go to the theme park, you will see that, and they'll put the signs out that says we're filming for the Thanksgiving Day Parade. But I just remember one float will come out, they're playing the music, and everybody starts lining up and everything down the street, and that float will go away, and then nothing will happen for another 20 minutes, and people are like, well, that was it? I'm like, yeah. I was just like, yeah, we're just filming. The actual parade will be later on.
Yeah, like today, the actors are on top of the train station filming stuff. They're all that, I
never knew that.
Right. Regis and Kathy Lee aren't physically there on Thanksgiving. They're at home.
Because I used to help out with that here when I was acting, because when we would be in between acting and our extra work, if we needed any extra money, they would say, you want to go be paid for the parades, or do you want to be paid for this, or do you want to help with technical and stuff? So I used to do that all the time, 20 years ago, and it was fun watching people allegedly lip sync. We're going to say allegedly because some did try to sing live, because when the microphone gets pulled by accident and everything, and I love that day. That was fun on one of the spectacles we did. That's when you know who can sing and who can't sing.
and for the most part, when you were watching those parades, those were filmed about a month ago. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, do you really think all these celebrities are going to come out on Thanksgiving regardless?
We were shocked we even saw what we saw. We were shocked. I thought they would have been right at 34th coming out and then coming onto the float. They were. I
think that's the only live one. That's the one because that's we're playing live. But
I think the Rose Bowl isn't even, or the Rose Parade isn't even live. Or is it?
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, I think that's taped.
Except for the Macy's Day Parade, everything else is
taped.
Or, they recorded it. It's like, we managed to get like Mariah Carey and NSYNC and all these other bands together and Taylor Swift. And it's like, no, we didn't. It didn't happen.
With the Macy's Day Parade, I'm always wondering too. They've got those giant floats, like the giant. Well, they're not really floats; they're balloons, like the SpongeBob and the Sonic the Hedgehog. And I guess it's for the little kids who think that the characters are real, kind of like a Disneyland deal. But I'm like, do they think that SpongeBob is just giant and can fly now? I always wondered about that. What is the idea?
Well, the crazy part was because the wind was so bad, they had to lower it down. So in some of the pictures I haven't shown you guys, I'm literally staring right at this thing. This thing is like huge and everything. That's how big it was. It was almost as big as a building. And it was crazy. It was fun. Like I said, it was too cold.
Sure, Rose, I believe you. we'll go with that. But yeah, you know what happened? I think, Sean. I think what happened is that SpongeBob absorbed all the water in the ocean, so that's why he got.
Yeah, right.
That's
he made fun of Texas, and then Sandy invited him over and filled him up with ocean water.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct. So. Well, without further ado, I think. Did you have anything further with the?
No, I was thinking. Did you guys have anything other good news coming up or anything? Or are you going to save that till the end and stuff?
We'll save it to the end.
Save it to the end.
Okay. Yeah, there might be some tie-ins for some additional stuff.
That's what I want to make sure. Yeah.
I'll let this be the final question for the Who Knew News. Isn't the Macy's parade in the classic movie Miracle on 34th Street in it?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was hard to shoot, they said too, as well, because they had to do it out of season. So they had to bring all of Santa stuff out of season. That was actually shot out of season.
So there you
go.
So
those balloons you see in there, maybe the only balloons you'll see because some of them don't exist anymore.
Oh. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and wrap up the Who Knew News.
And we're back. So, I hope everyone's excited. That was a lot of fun. But we're talking the land. What are we talking about? War between the land and the sea, aka
this is not going to bode well for the show.
And it's going to be a great time. So we've got some crack investigators here.
The sea between the war and the land. Something like that.
Yes, the sea between the war and the land.
Could you have made a more difficult tongue twister of a title?
Yes.
I think they could have. Let's not challenge them.
Exactly. Don't tell them that.
Don't go there.
Okay, do you think this is going to end up like Class or Torchwood?
Wait. Let's hold it. We're good to commercial break, and then we'll talk more about that. So we'll be right back. Everybody stay hooked up, and I'll make the announcement at the end of the show. So yeah, stay tuned. We got a big announcement coming in 2 weeks.
So what's your favorite Western? Is it this one or maybe one of these? Is it a revisionist Western, an anti-Western, or maybe it's an all-time classic? Whether your favorite Western is in black and white, vibrant Technicolor, a spaghetti Western, a neo-Western, a comedy, or maybe it's only really Western in spirit. Whatever it is, this is the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. Every second Monday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's Horses on Film.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Are you tired of toxic fandoms? Do you wish we could go back to being happy? So do we. We created the Happiness Patrol to get away from all of the toxicity in fandoms, in life, and so we decided we wanted to do a show about something that makes us happy. And in the first season, that something is Star Wars. So join myself, Cameron, Scott, Jessica, and Melanie on Happiness Patrol at youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused. I'll sew enclosed. The spell stays unspoken. A dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down. I didn't listen to that voicemail. A tick-tock, that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And we're all here together.
Welcome back to the war between the land and the sea, Doctor Who spinoff, and our predictions for this cool new show.
The sea between the war and the land.
The war between the land. Yes. Welcome to the sea before the war of the land.
Screwing this up.
What?
I'm gonna have too much fun screwing this up.
You're gonna have so much fun that you'll never get it right again.
Exactly. Thank you.
On purpose.
But what are people thinking? Who wants to go first and with some predictions for this show?
I got some opinions.
Oh boy, Sean's got opinions.
Does it come with the accent?
Well, I want us to reach 100K, so I will not do that accent. For the whole.
Oh no!
I'm sharing this on X right now and everything else, so you guys are good.
No, we'll actually hit it quicker if you keep that accent going.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want me to go or?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Try it.
Yeah. So I've been looking up some stuff about the series. I've been watching the trailers and teaser trailers, and I don't have a ton to say about the content of the actual show, but I have some predictions about the show itself. So the first thing is about the actual quality of the show. And I think it's going to fall somewhere between mediocre and just absolutely excellent. And I know that doesn't sound like much of a prediction, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. I think that seems like an unlikely outcome. We've got a few different factors here. On the one hand, preliminary reviews have been positive that I've seen. And also RTD tends to be pretty good at spin-offs. So think Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures. Of course, very different demographics for those shows, but both considered pretty good. On the other hand, the show at large is not really seen that positively right now, as in Doctor Who. The franchise isn't seen all that positively right now by the fandom at large. So there is a lot of pressure, I would say, to sort of bring the show back. And I can't really speak to the way that people reviewed the show, but it does seem like the incentive would be to give positive reviews right now. I'm not questioning the authenticity of anyone, but nonetheless, I think that's probably the situation. So those factors are kind of conflicting right now. I'd say my overall prediction is I think it's going to be at least good. I think it will be, and I think they're going to try to capture sort of that Andor energy. If you're not familiar with Andor, it's a very similar deal to what this is trying to be, I think, which is a spin-off series, limited story from a family-oriented sci-fi franchise that's much larger. And they're going to go for the grittier angle. I forgot to mention as well, one of the things that gives me pause about the series is I say that it's going for the Andor angle. It could also be going for the Torchwood angle in that I've seen something that said that they're trying to call back to Children of Earth. So I hope they're going to be paying homage to it and sort of using it as inspiration rather than trying to bring it in as more of a direct influence. Because one of the big problems with Doctor Who in the last 2 seasons was being overly derivative of what came before. I very much want this to be its own thing, but I think it really could. I think it's going to be going for that Andor energy, and I think it could turn out really well. And I guess my last part of that prediction for things about the show is, since Disney is doing this really weird thing, and BBC also is doing this really weird thing where they're going to be separating them, where one is going to be coming out on BBC first, and then the other one's coming out on Disney Plus sometime next year, I think American fans are going to be unwilling to wait for that length of time. And whatever happens with the ratings in America, which is probably not going to be good, is going to be used as Disney as sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy to say, aha, see, it's not doing well. And then I think also some of the outlets on YouTube will talk about the show if it turns out not to be good. We'll cite the ratings, but will not talk about the show if it turns out to be excellent. So those are all my predictions for the show. I hope it's really good. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like it could be intriguing, very different types of performances. I hope RTD is not going to rely too much on trying to recapture the magic. I hope he's going to try to make some new magic.
All right. Reasonable.
Well, there's the show. Good night.
Yep, that's
but that's just a theory. Again, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, that's
a good.
Sorry, go ahead, Kristen.
No. I said that was a good theory, and like, there's nothing. Nobody's opinion is wrong. That's how you feel, and that's how you come established. Of course, we would like the show. We would like Doctor Who and the Land Between the Eggs and the Bacon to be successful, but as you mentioned, there's I got a whole thing on this. So I think I'll wait my turn, but
go for it, Christian. You can have your turn now.
Okay, I'll have my time. I think it's do it. Okay, because I got to be the negative Nancy on this one.
All right,
it's not the fault of the actual show. There's a reason why I don't watch Kurtzman Trek. And after I saw the first 2 episodes of Discovery, I'm like, this is not going in the direction that I wanted to. Then I heard about Prodigy. Then I heard about Strange New Worlds. And I heard about Picard. And it's just like, this is just, this is, I don't see this as Star Trek anymore. I think the only thing that came close, in my opinion, from what I saw, and it really took some motivation to see it, was Picard season 3. which really knocked the hell out of me. But as far as I almost want to say, you didn't need series 1 and 2. 3 was enough. And I think it should have told the whole story just from 3 on. In fact, I always thought it would have been a great fanfic where Picard's about to retire, then something happens in the neutral zone, and it turns out the Borg are involved and Q is handling everything. So they kind of went that direction. As far as anything else as Kurtzman Trek, as long as his name is on it, I don't watch it. I can't. When I first saw those first 2 episodes of Discovery, and if I remember correctly, there was that one scene where Michael Burnham cries to the jail cell, and because the jail cell felt sorry for her, it let her out. If I remember, there was a scene like that in there. And that's when I walked away. I'm just like, what the hell is this? This is not even... You can't talk to the jail cells. This never happened in Star Trek. And why are you talking to the jail cell? How did you convince it? It's just like, this is getting ridiculous. And you had mentioned, Sean, that he has some great spinoffs, really great spinoffs, Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures. But then I have to pose, yeah, but if he's not contained and he's not doing it right, we end up with Torchwood Miracle Day. So I mean, like, yeah, I know when you go off on it, on
try selling that when you're working in a video store.
I was looking forward to Miracle Day, and when I heard all the celebrity guests in there, and I was just like, the one thing that was tragic about Miracle Day is that, unlike Torchwood, you could have come in at any given point and caught up. With Miracle Day, if you didn't start from the very beginning, it's over. I mean, you'd have to start from the very beginning for any of it to make sense. And the fact that RTD was saying that Torchwood runs alongside Doctor Who. So if Miracle Day happened, the Doctor should have been around to take care of it.
He was on a phone call, remember, with him?
That was a long phone call.
That was a long phone call, yes. That was all we had, was a phone call.
Why I've said about the Kurtzman Trek is right now I'm having big issues with RTD. And I'm feeling like it's invoking a prejudice that I don't want to put on this show. One of the questions is like, we've always asked for a unit episode, and I feel like this is... It's hard for me to explain, but as long as RTD's attached to it, I can't watch it. Or at least I'm not going to feel comfortable about watching it, because I really have my issues with the man for the 60th anniversary and the 2 seasons of Ncuti Gatwa. I mean, one of the things I never forgave him was the Robot Revolution. To watch the Doctor laugh at a death of somebody, even if it's every single practical episode, the Doctor never, even if it's his enemies, he appreciates the life. Even with Sutek, he cried over defeating him. But when I saw that scene when the sperm and the egg are vacuumed up, the Doctor's laughing. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He's not my Doctor. He's not the Doctor that he created. And RTD, you're the one in charge. You're the one who greenlit this. And the story, the stories with RTD 2.0 against Chris Chibnall, I'm like, Chris Chibnall's going like, I can write some sucky stories. RTD 2.0, hold my beer and my wine and this keg. The person that I really appreciated was RTD 1.0, who really stood his ground. He, there was a messaging in there, but even friends that I, who kind of have that ideology, who support that, saying this is not even consumable anymore. It's hitting me all over the head with the message, and the story is somewhere in there, but it's so inundated and the stories are not that good. So one of the things I was a little concerned about, and this is what we talked about, Dave, was when RTD opens his mouth, bad stuff begins. He does. Yeah, stop that. You don't need to interject anymore. When it came to Destination Skaro, I thought that was the coolest thing, and everybody lit up when they were saying, "Oh, this is going to be pre-Davros before he got attacked by the Khalads."
Mm.
This is going to be. I was like, "This is great. I want to see this kind of story. I want to see how he led up." No, it's our Davros is going to be walking because of stigma against people with disabilities and evil. I'm like, who the hell are you talking about? I've never had that. I grew up with a father who was in a wheelchair for 35 years of his life. Not once did he tell me he was going to genocide anybody. I don't know where you get that. That's not a me issue, Russell. That's a you issue. Mm-hmm. I understand where he was coming from on the perspective of, like, Dr. Evil. He's got the cut in his eye, and he goes around in that electric wheelchair, that silly wheelchair. But I don't see that as disability being evil. I see that as the character's upcomings. In the same way Captain Hook got his hand cut off by Peter Pan. It wasn't because he was disabled. It was because that's what you do. You do bad stuff. You're going to look bad. You're going to lose limbs. That's why you shouldn't be bad. And that's why characters, have an eye patch or something of that nature. That's, to me, that wasn't a comments. Davros didn't have an electric wheelchair. He was blown up and he had to go into a life support chair. That's why he was even in it in the beginning. And when RTD expressed that it was a wheelchair, I was like, dude, did you even watch this show? I mean, it wasn't a wheelchair. It was a life support system. That's how the story went on. That's how he lived. And he couldn't. I just have so many misgivings for RTD. And the problem is, it's like Kurtzman. If it's attached to him, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And I really want to give this series a chance. I really do. But even when RTD was announced that he was doing the Christmas special for 2026, I'm like, I can't get away from that. I would have been more excited if somebody fresh, even Stephen Moffat, if he came back to do one more episode. I can't. Mm-hmm. And I might give this episode a chance, but this is the first time ever that something like this came up, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it. I know of 2 podcasters who are not going to watch it, who said they were not even going to review it. And one of them, I think I could mention because he said it live on his podcast. One of them, his anger was not only that he didn't like the last 2 seasons of Doctor Who, but his anger is actually geared towards the BBC and say, BBC, why don't you give Disney Plus drop the ball? Why don't you pick up the ball and give it to the USA people, and we could watch it all together? And I don't know if I can blame the BBC. I don't think they were sitting there going like, well, Disney Plus will pick it up. We don't have to worry about this. However, I get to see his point of view. It's just like, oh, okay, we're going back to, it's a BBC show, which it is.
Yep.
But now that we have streaming the way it is right now, I think they could have thought of something. They could have gone to BBC America and put it on there or something of that nature.
That's where Tourchwood was originally.
Yeah.
And they showed Doctor Who during the holidays.
Right. Sarah Jane was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I mean,
yep.
So was Doctor Who. It was actually on Disney. What? This is the funny part. Doctor Who, David Tennant era was on Disney XD for the longest time. Then it was on Sci-Fi Channel at the same time. Then you had Sarah Jane later in that time. Then BBC America came over and took everything. And then what happened? That's the thing. What happened? It just lost everything after.
So can I ask you a follow-up question, Christian,
sure.
about what you said?
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know if you said hardline. I know that you said you can't, so I kind of take that to mean that you don't really even want to watch it. And I understand that. I don't necessarily, we don't all agree on everything, but I definitely think what you said about the doctor laughing about death. And then, of course, you guys know how I felt about Lucky Day. And then, of course, we had the torture scene in the Interstellar Song Contest. Yep. And all 3 of those things I thought were just a step too far. But regardless of whether you're going to watch the show, what could the show do, not necessarily to win you back, but what would be something that you would see in the show where you would say, okay, I at least respect this, even if not the stuff that came before?
that's the hardest thing. I mean, is this worthy of my time? And when it comes to streaming services, I mean, when it comes to, I really think that Hollywood and big corporations have this idea in their mind, and especially when it comes to fans, that they don't have a problem antagonizing fans, especially when they have a good criticism about what the product is. Aren't you supposed to be serving the fans, whether they be classic or new, or where they come in? And I like this show. If anybody came up on this show and gave me good criticism, I'm not going to sit there and go on my social media and go, what a jerk you are, or whatnot. I take the criticism. And that's the thing, being and learning the hard way about, being, I'm not saying this is the greatest show ever, but our podcast, but yes, it is the greatest show. What am I talking about?
Yes.
But if somebody had a criticism and somebody came in and said, you know what, I hate your show, it sucks, and whatever, and you're an ugly Asian guy, I would okay, move on, we're done. I've just been taken aback by things like comments like Shooty Gatwa when he comes out and goes, well, if you don't like what's going on, go touch grass, or Millie, I almost said Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Gibson, when she said, just watch the damn thing. It's like, no, you can't force me, and I can't be forced to like this. I want to like it. I want to love it. This is my show. This is my jazz. When I go to conventions and talk about this, I spent a couple years of my life going to conventions and telling people what a great show this is. Now, but now I got to say, well, the Robot Revolution's in there. Well, this is in there. Well, that's in there. Well, Orphan 55.
They tried to redeem themselves with the deleted scenes, which kind of, maybe that much, gave them a little bit of Robot Revolution, more solidness to it, as we could probably say, maybe, allegedly. But it still lost its point.
Okay, I'm pulling up Roger's comment. I'm glad that the Sea Devils are called the Aqua Kind instead of Homo Aqua. And it's just didn't
the trailer say the Homo Aqua?
Well, I'm going back to RT.
It's such a minor plot point that it doesn't matter what they call them.
I'm just going back to RTD. He's going the name the Sea Devils was racist. I'm like, how?
Would you like me to call you an Asian devil?
Yeah.
Most people
I have not heard anything
words
about
don't affect me. I mean, the only time
what was it?
words have power, you give them.
What was the saying what we grew up with, guys? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt us.
Cool, but that just excuses. That's just like boys will be boys. Pull a girl's hair. That's okay. Boys will be boys.
Yeah, I have a bald spot. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
I haven't heard much about
now,
the.
Do I think Sea Devils is racist?
But wait a minute, Dave.
To us, we're not Sea Devils.
But Dave, you told me, and it's like, would you like somebody to call you that? And I'm just like, I'm Asian. If that's where we're going with this, I'm giving you full permission, RTD, to put Sea Devils back into the. I
just found out Italians aren't even my complexion.
So what was the original issue, Dave, with the name? Because I guess we really don't have to talk about this, guys, if you don't want to. I haven't heard
with the 13th Doctor too.
I haven't heard.
Okay, land parasite. Why would the Sea Devils call themselves that? It is intended as a slur from humankind to another species.
Okay. So it's like the name Sea Devils is what humans call them. But
exactly.
That's not their biological name, because that would not make sense.
So don't call them that.
Right.
Like I'll give you a good one. Guinea and Spick for me, or Mick for me. Guinea and Mick for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Careful about what you just said.
I know. I know, but that's what it was. Well, we're far enough in it to talk about this, because my Italian side gets called a Guinea. And my Irish side gets called a Mick, M-I-C, right? But my cousins that are Spanish get called a Spick, and that's what I grew up hearing, and we could do nothing about it. It was what
you can do something about it.
You saw my mem for Darkwing Duck. He even stole Darkwing Duck's lovely saying for Sutek.
I thought that he just changed the name Sea Devil because I thought it was just kind of silly.
No.
I thought that was the underlying reason.
Unfortunately, and I will agree with Christian on this. Unfortunately, it came down to RTD opened his damn mouth again.
Yes.
If they had just left it as what will be a ridiculously minor plot point, call us this instead, and nobody would have cared.
Or you could have written it in and just say, you know what, they were called the Sea Devils because the mariners had seen them in the past, and that's what the name they came up with.
Mermaid was a devil.
That's the name that they came up with because they didn't know any better. Sorry, it's that time. I'm sorry they couldn't go on their Twitters and start talking to each other. Said, you know what, Sea Devils is a really bad thing.
We didn't have Twitter back then. We had to yell out the window.
What he could have done is he could have wrote something in. It's just like they were called the Sea Devils, and then they could have auto-corrected it and said, hey, you know, we actually call ourselves the Aqua Kind or whatever. And written something in, and that would have ended it.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly what's going to happen.
That's fine.
But again, RGB
he had to
opened
open
his
his
damn
big mouth, and he didn't need to. And then I was like, now you're putting something in there that's not supposed to be. But that's not only that; it's the treatment too. I mean, like, okay, and
then he puts in the theme of we destroyed the oceans. That was the 90s when we were trying to save the planet. He's a little late on that too. Like, they're destroyed. They're destroyed.
Which doesn't mean it shouldn't be addressed. We shouldn't keep going. Again, it's not that it's wrong to talk about it. Whether it's hopefully, it is not Orphan 55 smashed over the head with the.
You get the Sea Devils looking right into the camera.
Yeah,
you don't do this, the ocean will be gone.
I don't know. I don't think it will do that. The advanced reviews have not indicated,
they're
that
mixed.
Going to go that far.
They're mixed, though.
They're mixed, but they're saying there's some hit and miss, but no one's saying, "Oh my God, this is an over the top tree hugger show." Nobody's, in the way that Orphan 55. Well, there's so much wrong with Orphan 55.
Some people say it's Romeo and Juliet, the sea.
Do you guys think that being off of social media, kind of like I do a lot of the time? I mean, I remember back when I was younger, before social media really took off, in the old days, I just kind of went in cold watching something and I would talk to my friends. I wonder if sometimes people such as myself who don't really use big social media platforms where RTD can open his mouth all the time and talk about what the show means before we see it. Do you think that's a fundamentally different experience going in? Because for me, I've seen the trailer. I have my expectations. I like the story of the Sea Devils, but I mean, do you think that actually affects how the fandom at large sees something? Do you think social media has a big impact on how the fandom receives something?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Think about it when we didn't have social media. And you had to hear, to play telephone with friends and everything when you saw something. Oh, I saw this episode of this, and it won't be seen ever again because they didn't do repeats or anything until maybe the holidays or anything, or years later on. And you had to tell your friends, and the story kept changing and changing and changing. Now with social media, it's just in 1 second, not days later.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just interject on what Dave said?
Yeah.
What about the Sea Devils being a badge of honor, like the Desert Rats? Or the Red Devils.
I was literally going to say that. I'm so glad you said that. What if they like the name?
We'll find out.
Yeah, no, I perfectly agree.
But it's not. We've established that it's what humans named them, and they did not name them that as a badge of honor.
No.
But I agree that it could be, but it's
like we used to call the Sea Devils or Red Devils because of the enemy. Like, say, for example, the Desert Rats were named in World War II. Not by us, by the enemy at that time, because we were basically surviving in the desert as rats, but we was good at it, and so it becomes like a badge of honor rather than being a negative connotation of it. And I think that if a show was aimed to a point of like, this is our species, this is actual kind, but this is our military, which is what you call the Sea Devils, which is our armed forces, different story. But because, like you said, Dave and Christian, you said that Russell T Davies opened his mouth rather than letting the story thing, it caused havoc over the internet because people were going, well, what's the point of changing the name? It's been like this for the last 60 years. And then you got people going, oh, well, yeah, because it's like, we don't want anything to think about it. My predictions of this show is it's probably going to be very, very political, especially what's going on in the Middle East at the moment because of the war.
Mhm.
Okay, I think it's going to be very, very political with environmental stuff, but I think it's going to have a ton of action.
Well, didn't they say that in one of the reviews and everything that they were
Well,
using the climate that we're in now as the premise?
He did. Russell T Davies did that with Russell T Davies 1.0. Okay, he used the climate and what's happening around him to write some of the stories. Okay, but also what I would say as well that it's not just Russell T Davies writing the story; it's also Peter McTighe. McTighe. And he does all the. I'm not sure if you guys know, but he does all the major little things on the Blu-ray collector's edition. He's quite heavily involved with that. So the Doctor Who collector's edition Blu-ray box sets.
Okay.
So he's been working with that. I think I'm going into the point of view is that I know it's going to be quite political. I know it might be a little bit environmental, but I'm also going to point of view it is going to be a story. Is it going to be like Class? Is it going to be like Tourchwood? Is it going to be somewhere in between? It may be. As long as it's not anything like K9 and
with the 3 kids.
No, the Australian K9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with the 3 kids. Yeah,
the Australian K9, which was completely let's regenerate K9 into a Sony iRobot. As long as it's not that bad, but what I've seen of it, I think it's going to be a lot of special effects. I think it's going to be really, really hype and quite dramatic. I think Barclay's character.
This actually reminds me of Ocean Girl. If you remember that on Disney.
No.
That the Australian show where it was the oceans and everything and stuff, and they had to protect them and humanity and stuff, and they actually were from like another planet type thing. It was weird and stuff. So it reminds me of that. If anybody's remember that series, Ocean Girl.
It's going to be quite interesting because if some of the rumors are true about that some people may not survive this episode, which would be a shame.
Yep.
Again, it's only rumors. We won't know until we actually watch the show. And if it is, I will be heartbroken because she endeared me into UNIT herself. One thing I don't like, in Power of the Doctor with Kate Bridge-Stewart, with her little UNIT pin, which was going back to the classic era. She's got a new pin on her lapel, which I don't like. I think she should have wore her dad's one.
Redecorated.
She redecorated, and I don't like it.
Nice.
I think it's going to be an interesting thing. I think it's going to be very, very heavily on special effects. I think it's going to be quite interesting to watch. I think that the problem is, I think it's either going to be it's either going to come out 2 ways, that we'll live in peace, or it literally is the end of the world. I don't think Russell T Davies will do that. Yeah, if you could get that message off just 1 moment, you can see Kate Lethbridge-Stewart's new lapel pin for UNIT.
Is that the Australian pin or is that the British pin? Because remember, weren't they in Australia at one time?
Who?
Didn't they say at the end of Shooties that they were heading to Australia or because of the new situation?
The thing with UNIT is international.
Okay.
So international, you can have American, you can have Czech, and this is all canon. But they've had Czech UNIT, they had Canadian, not Canadian, they had what other countries are, and it's also, if you look at the classic hero, you have the RAF, which is the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy all serving under UNIT. So what they do, UNIT is like a special operations. So they'll get people from different internationals and join UNIT as a tour, and then they'll go back to their own unit. And you can see that by the thing. What I have noticed is that, you can see all these different uniforms you got in UNIT. If it's this unit.
Unit UN.
Yeah, basically. Like one of the generals, if you watch one of the clips, he's wearing American blue number 1s. And then you got one of the English sergeants wearing a BDU black. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be broke when this comes out.
Well, you got to get the translator. You see the translator in the ear. You're going to have to get the translator too.
But on the whole, it's going to be opening up. It's going to be something to watch. How good the storyline is, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm gonna.
And it's only 5 episodes, right?
I thought it was 6. Is it 5 or 6?
I think it's 5. I think I heard 5.
5 episodes. 2 and 1. It's 5.
Okay, but I do think that if it does go well, the only problem I've got is whether or not we're going to make a season 2 of this. Okay, because if Disney has put all the money in it and they've now pulled out,
it's going to end like Class.
When is BBC going to get the money? Well, Class was done by BBC, so they never had any money. The only thing I can suggest is if this gets another series, then they're going to need another sponsor, whether or not it'll be Sony or whether or not, because I know Sony's got a little bit.
Well, Pluto and Tubi have already slowed down the Doctor's episodes. Now you just have an on-demand channel, so you can't pick and choose your episodes anymore. So I'm wondering who actually is going to get the whole streaming.
Hopefully it'll be self-contained. I think I heard it'll be self-contained, but it would be interesting if they did make another season after that.
Friendly Yucca2's got a point at the bottom there. This is a limited series. It was never intended to have a season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only ever intended to be the 5 self-contained 5 episodes.
Unless this blows us completely away. I mean,
I mean, anything's possible.
Who's to say that this actually does better than Doctor Who? I mean, just like
yeah.
It would end up, I don't think they would end up with Land in the Sea Volume 2. It would be, another unit spinoff.
The next series is actually just called The Land Between the War and the Sea, and then we get the sea between the war and the land. Every season is just called something slightly different.
or it could be The Land Between the Land and Land, where they rather use actual kind, they use Earth kind, which is a
or just like Romeo and Juliet, they fall in love and they die.
No, and I think that's going to be part of that's one of the things I'm kind of predicting is there'll be at least a Romeo and Juliet subplot at the very
Shades of Orphan 55.
I really hope that's not the case.
Or like the Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water.
Didn't they have Orphan 55 and Praxis in the same year? I'm just like,
yes.
That's 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's take the hammer and just put some spikes on it so we remind people that this is. I'd rather you just spent 5 minutes with Jodie Whittaker dressed up as the 13th Doctor talking.
It lost my hope when we had the frog.
Well, then what?
To be fair, Christian, that season did end on a high note with the Timeless Children.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
I disagree with you, Sean, but that's the movie.
Duckadoo.
I was 100%. I was 100% kidding. I'm sorry. We should move on. We should move on to Dave before we.
No, I agree. My thoughts are kind of similar to what a lot of people have said. I'm cautiously optimistic.
That's fair.
I think there is definitely going to be, and I'm going to say it in this way, and I'm going to hope that it's only shades. There will be shades of Orphan 55, just because there is going to be an environmental theme here, but I think there's also going to be a Romeo and Juliet subplot. Just the images that have been released really kind of lend themselves to that.
Think?
This one exactly is, this doesn't look like a war type picture. This looks like coming together in some way. So we'll see. I'm also not convinced that these are Sea Devils proper.
If you see the trailer, Salt is there's certain scenes where Salt's talking to him. It's just like, hey, we can put things together. Now, whether that becomes a romance or not, which I gotta hope not, I would just love.
I hope not as well, but
I unless somehow it makes it work. But I'm
just laughing how they come out of the water and they can walk on land and surprise everybody. But didn't they know they could do that?
I'm not 100% convinced that these are Sea Devils in the classic sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've established that the difference in Silurians, that there's at least 3 different species of Silurian out there. That's how they've addressed the change in the design over the years. And we've seen 2 separate designs from.
What if these are just the warrior class?
Did you say we've seen 2 different,
or a completely different underwater species that are they Chinese or are they Filipino? They all look the same to me. that you know that. But that's what I'm thinking might be going on here as a, which then brings up the don't call us sea devils. That's not what we are. Thing is just a matter of they are another species that lives under the sea.
Did you say we've seen 2 species of sea devils so far?
I almost
we've seen salt, and then we've seen one that looks a little bit more Silurian.
Oh, I thought you meant like in Doctor Who proper. I thought you meant that we'd seen 2 different, because were the ones with Jodie, were those different? A different kind of sea devils than the ones?
That's entirely possible. We don't know.
Okay.
I have not counted those.
And I always said the Doctor was out of order in time, so I'm always wondering if it's different time frame that the Doctor's in.
Also possible. Like there's any number of ways they could have dealt with this, but in the advertising for the War of the Land and the Sea, we've seen salt and a male version of that iteration of the species.
I think I just sent you pictures of that.
An entirely different one that looks more Silurian and a little bit more traditional sea devilish. We've seen that image released. So I'm thinking there's more to it than what it is boiled down to in a soundbite from RTD. Damn it, will you shut your mouth, man? They
could have been genetically altered too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's any number of reasons that they could look different. Because I know that was a big one of the early, even before the name change, that was the first thing the internet popped off on was, well, these don't look like the Sea Devils anymore. This is horrible and the worst thing ever. And oh my god. To be fair, that version of Sea Devil wouldn't fly now.
It's very silly.
Exactly, it's pretty silly. And
like
the CGI version of them from the 13th Doctor era was also still pretty silly. I don't mind silly, to be fair. I'd be quite happy to have this version of the Sea Devils out there.
Bird.
That looks like one of those the turtles, like a turtle.
Snapping turtle. With flaps.
But
like that.
My concern is this: when we first saw the Sea Devils, tell me if I'm wrong on this, Mark, but when we first saw the Sea Devils coming out of the ocean, they were lankety, they were taking forever. You could outrun these guys as they were walking out of the ocean, and this guy could jump across a pier to get back to his boat. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Sorry, Christian, I was going to say it's the same thing like with Daleks, where the Daleks can get up to the stairs.
I could see the improvement. Remember, these guys are mechanical, even though they have a creature inside. When we got to the 7th Doctor and what was it, Remembrance of the Daleks. That joke where the Doctor runs up the stairs and stops the Dalek, and the Dalek starts to levitate.
Yeah,
I mean, they're supposed
and he goes, "Oh no!"
Yeah, we're talking about natural evolution, and now all of a sudden these Sea Devils can fling across the room, and they got kung fu grip. So I'm just like, what the hell is this all about?
I don't mind so much new designs, though, with the show. I mean, I'm kind of glad we're not getting the silly Sea Devil design in this show, but maybe they're going to do like a Dalek thing where they have to prove it, where it's like, what are you going to do? And then he grabs the guy's face. You got the 9th Doctor. That Sea Devil just absorbed the entire ocean. It knows everything. I don't know if they're going to upgrade them or not, but I don't mind the upgrade so much.
But it's okay to a certain extent, but I was just like the Weeping Angels. Now they can do what used to be so nice about them is just like they had I wouldn't say the weakness, but they were limited to, they sucked your time out. They sent you back in time to death, and they use that as their power. Now they could break your neck, and then they could, zap you more than one time. I was just like, maybe just
power creep is a problem with any long running show. And unfortunately, the fandom has shown themselves to be largely, not entirely, but largely resistant to new villains. Oh, give us the old stuff back. Sometimes you get a Weeping Angel that hits the consciousness and they love it. But then they want more of it. And you got to do something or it becomes stale. That's why we get, as far as I'm concerned, I'm quite happy to have a Dalek-less Doctor. Not forever, but I'm tired of the Daleks. The Daleks are not the greatest thing in the world. They're limited to what their storylines are.
There's 62 years of Doctor Who, and this is one of my biggest gripes when it came to Chris Chibnall. He was going like, "Well, I'm not going to use any of the classic monsters," and you have people. No, and I think that's a wonderful thing that people today would get if you had given a chance. You could see the Weirin, you could see the Zarba, you could see what it would look like today, and appease people, who grew up with that. It's like, oh, that's cool. The Zarba can do this now. Now we get to see their intricacies instead of this puppet-like deal. And I'm not a big fan of the Sea Devils per se, but I was, when I saw their new look with Jodie's time, it was okay because they were kind of sticking to things. And I was just like, well, if we kept it the way it was, you can upgrade it without having to change the core of it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree.
Same thing what we did with the Silurians as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you look at the Silurians from the classic show and then look at it with the reboot show, they are different in things, which may be a good thing. Like I said, I like your ideas that they're different races or different races of the Silurians, or different races of the Sea Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So rather than having these all Sea Devils look like the same, if they're you said species, didn't you, Dave, rather than race? But it works.
I mean,
works the same difference.
Same difference in this conversation.
They did it really well with. I know this is not Doctor Who, but they did it really well with Avatar, where they had the jungle Avatar compared to the sea life Avatar, and they had different.
Oh yeah.
And this could be the same principle with. Like one Sea Devil might be from the Atlantic Ocean, or the other one might be from the Pacific Ocean, and you're going to have different evolution happening in the different oceans.
Yeah. But what you were saying earlier, David, is just like the Sea Devils. In this particular case, I'm going to just aqua amphibian kind is just like we can relate this actually the Asian race, like myself. There's Filipinos, there's Chinese, there's Japanese, there's Mao, there's all these people, and not only that, but they kind of come from the same package. But if you look across the land, their culture, their appearance in some cases are slightly different. So I could see that the Sea Devils and the Silurians and whatever juncture you wanted to bring in there, and they could have their different cultures and such like that.
Well, I'm going to bring this comment up here from Friendly Yakatu. That I guess Pete McTighe confirmed that they're Homo amphibia, totally different but closely related species. Homo aqua are the more traditional Sea Devils. So there we go. Yeah.
So is that confirmation that they are terrestrial?
Redesign.
Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, is that confirmation then that the Sea Devils are actually terrestrial, just like the Silurians are?
Yeah, that's the basis.
That's interesting because I think it's like what you said. I don't remember who made this point. I think maybe it was you, Dave, or maybe it was Christian, but about the Doctor not intervening as much because this is sort of a thing that happens just on the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really
really Tennant don't show up with Donna in this one.
Well,
I love David Tennant. I want him to kind of take a little bit of a rest. I thought, even the show was like, I thought it was going to be that other guy, So
I must admit, I think this is going to be good because from a unit point of view, like if you say like Tourchwood was the FBI and units are military, and these are black op operations which we don't know about. So the Doctor, like I think wasn't it where it was David Tennant's story? I think it was where the Prime Minister said, "Well, you're not always about on this planet." Okay, and he goes up to the assistant. Oh, doesn't she look ill? But that's the same principle. The Doctor isn't on Earth, and this is where the whole idea of a brigadier was set up. The United Nations Intelligence Task Force. Yeah, I said it the proper way, not the
unified.
Unified. United Nations Task Force back in after Web of Fear. Okay, so we're going back to the late 60s, early 70s. Well, that's another thing. Kate Stewart, she originally starred in a spin-off. Her first appearance was in Downtime.
Yeah.
Okay, which wasn't Doctor Who, but
it's not really. Oh, I was about to say, that's not really a spin-off. That's like a fanfic spin-off or something like that.
Yeah,
it was
wasn't
like BBV.
Yeah, but it's now Kate Stewart has now become a main character from Matt Smith's era. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to be good if the Doctor doesn't appear. Yeah, it's going to be good because I think it's going to be a situation of what would you do without the Doctor? Like, is it Turn Right when the Doctor dies?
Right.
Yeah. How the Earth basically sort of implodes on itself over the years. Okay.
And the sad part is if she does or does not, allegedly, there's no more Stewart connection. Lethbridge-Stewart.
Which is fine. We don't need another. We don't always need to have a family
Yes,
connection. I love the character. Don't get me wrong. How many major military families are there? Not that many.
Kate Bridge-Stewart has got a child.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, she does. She openly admits that she's a single mother. She did that in. She mentioned that. Was an incredible bridge player. No, she has this whole dialogue. It says incredible bridge player, single mother, or something like that. And I was just like, oh yeah, so she's got kids.
Okay. Yeah, she's got kids. She had the kid. You actually see the kid in Downtime.
Oh,
okay.
Have we had any predictions yet for the ending of the series? How anyone thinks the series is actually going to end? Because I have no idea what they're going to do.
Yeah, I have no idea. There's so many. I don't think we can, without knowing in more detail what the actual plot is, and they've been vague enough with that.
Yeah.
I think we can barely foresee what the show will be about. Never mind how it will end.
Rod, you forgot one Avatar, which was the Airbender that I grew up on.
Rogers literally mentions the Airbender there.
Okay. That's the dyslexia kicks in.
Yeah.
Even with the Airbenders, they had different traits depending whether or not they're the North Ocean, South Ocean, fire, or air. You know what I mean?
And there were different species of bison. If you watch The Legend of Korra, they found a different species of air bison that
and how
air
he
nomads
didn't
use.
freeze himself. Somebody else was supposed to be the original, and then it wasn't supposed to be Korra.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we start wrapping things up?
Because I heard,
I know if you know anybody who knows Bose Trek, I'm like Raj. Yeah, I can't wait until Chris puts out. If you get a chance,
here's what I want to ask real quick.
If you get a chance on listen to Bose Trek talk about the last two series of Doctor Who, and your mind will get blown.
What is it again?
What I want to ask
it's
about
Bose Trek, but I just want to prepare you. It is probably the most. Some people would consider it the most toxic thing, but it's just him ripping the shows
never mind.
episodes left and right. So, yeah, just be prepared for what people would consider toxicity, but I think it's funny sometimes because some of it is just like, yeah, he's spot on that one. So,
what I wanted to ask is, are they going to leave the 5th episode to coincide with the American episode when they start actually airing them?
We don't know.
That's
what's everybody going to do after the 5th
We'll know when they
episode?
show up. So far, the closest we've got is 2026, so probably not.
I'm just wondering that time frame from when that ends in 2026 till the Christmas special, what everybody's going to be doing.
I hope they just change their mind and do it at the same time because doing anything else is kind of silly.
They could.
I'm sorry.
Disney Plus does not always announce everything that they're doing in advance, so it is entirely plausible that we might see this on December 7th in North America.
I keep checking.
And they're just not promoting it.
I keep checking.
So, but with that all said,
are they going to waltz?
Do we want to do, Kristen? Do we want to wrap it up and then we'll do a proper after party where I can open one of these things up?
Well, Christian had some news for us. That's why I was trying to figure out.
It's not big news. In fact, if Dave, would you mind closing the door after we're done?
That's perfectly fine. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just answer Roger's question?
Yeah.
She had a son called Gordon, and a second child which we don't know the name of. The Rogers one, which is she had 2 daughters, I believe. No, it was definitely a son in Downtime, and his name was Gordon.
Didn't she have the twins? Someone told me twins one time.
No.
All right, Kristen, what is the announcement?
The announcement is we're happy to announce that we are going to have a special episode. Finally locked him in. Phantasmagoria will be doing a special episode of Simon in 2 weeks, which is the 16th. A very merry Simon Fisher Becker Christmas. Of course, you know, back in March we lost him this year, and we're still feeling the effects of this day. And Phantasmagoria and I were just talking in we're talking in links, I should say. And we came up with this idea of doing something special this Christmas for Simon. So don't forget, lock in your calendars. December the 16th at 6 p.m. we will be having a special, and maybe some special surprises coming along as well. Don't forget the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS 25 Days of Christmas has already started. You can just check it out here on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook page if you want to see. I'll be adding more from Universal Studios and Macy's Day Parade, and I'm also happy to announce our very first convention that we have locked in, Ancient City Con in St. Augustine, Florida, over at the World Golf Village. We will be back with the Daleks of Florida, September 25th to the 27th in this coming year, and we are going to have a lot more conventions announcements as we come along. We're just trying to make sure that we make sure that everything's cool. And that is it. That is for all the announcements. So everybody, I'm going to go ahead and jet. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we will let you know what we're doing. I think we might be reviewing the Santa Claus. And it's the one by Nev Fountain. It's the Christmas episode that he wrote. For
and you have that one that I can access.
You
meant the Tim Allen movie.
Yeah. So without further ado, folks, have a great night. Thank you for coming along, and I'll take it away, Dave. It's all you.
Excellent. Where's the button to go into the after party?
Oh, we don't have an after party anymore. Remember,
you
can just
we're
go.
just gonna roll through then. All right.
If you want, hang on. If you want to make it official, here we go.
That's what I was looking for. This new layout
transition.
We should delete some of these autumn ones. All right, so we've got about 15 minutes to go here, where I can open up one of these mystery dice from 1985 games.
Bottom right.
Your right or my right?
All right, so this is the one we're going to open. These are the mystery holiday dice.
I'd say they're pretty blue sparkles.
I reckon they're going to be green.
All right. So we're going to see. And we'll pull those out first. So there is a sticker. What do you think that sticker is?
Elf.
Christmas tree.
Definitely an elf.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I thought Christmas tree too. I was like...
It's a little 8-bit elf.
I like that one.
I think that was a Mr.
I got pigtails too.
And the last set had 2 stickers. This one only has 1. There's also, since you like your Christmas tree, there is also a Christmas tree pin.
Oh, cool.
I knew there was a Christmas tree somewhere.
Badge.
Just for us, just to make us happy. There we are.
Say.
The pins are good quality.
Yeah. Oh, they really are.
Like I said, my friend runs Pin Club. His dad does the Disney pins, and that's actually good. Those are good.
Yeah. No, these are 1985 does not cheap out on their stuff. Ooh.
Are those like shirt pins, Dave? Or are they like
lapel pins? The
small ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are really hard not to stab yourself with when you're trying to. I mean, I know that in theory you should be able to, but I've done it a couple times.
Some of them have like
I lost
a hole there where it poked through.
My manga pin. Actually, somebody took it, but
yeah. Many times have I stuck myself with lapel pins, especially when I'm wearing the unit badges. Oh, pink. Of a pink or see-through?
They're see-through with. I'll grab the D20 here with
blue.
A little puppy polar bear in it. So you got your D4. Let's see if you can kind of see it.
Is it a seal or a bear?
I think it's a bear. That one's a little hard to see. So let's see.
So those are the Coca-Cola ones?
D6.
Looks like the Coca-Cola bear. It does.
A little bit, yeah.
There he is.
So there's that.
I would never have thought of that.
And then your D8.
Random fact: there is such a breed of bears called grizzly bears, which are cross between polar bears and grizzly bears.
Ooh, interesting.
That just is weird when you look at it at the point.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
What's the maximum number of sides? I've always wondered that.
Your standard D10.
How do you mean, Sean? Maximum size? On a normal dice set like this, the maximum you get is the D20, which is 20 sides.
Yeah.
But you can. There are dices which go up to a stupid amount. I think I've got a D100.
Oh wow! Is that just a sphere?
It's just pretty much a round ball. Yeah.
There's your 10 sided your 10s D10s.
Nice.
Percentile D10. The polar bear in there.
It's very glistening. I like it.
It is. They're really see-through. There's your D12.
So I got my screen blown up so big, Dave, today. So like, hey, I can see what Dave's doing today. You know.
Nice. I appreciate.
So which one do you prefer, Dave? This week's or last week's?
I think this week's. This week is more holiday-ish. As a set. Whoops. Here's the D20. As a set, I like the a package deal. What you get in the box. I like the other one. It had an extra sticker and it had a spin down a smaller D20. This one does not. This is just a standard set. Standard set of 7.
Probably why there's one sticker and all the other.
Yeah, and then your sticker and your badge.
Cool.
So that is the this mystery dice package. You can find those from 1985games.com. I've got 4 more of those. We'll be opening a couple more of those over the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you tune in here on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS for the.
It actually works out to the new year if you do one a week.
Yeah, and I might skip the week with Simon. Just to keep that a little bit more Simon-y. I'll have a conversation with Christian about that.
Mm-hmm.
But that is that. Thank you guys for hanging with me through that little after party. I appreciate it greatly.
That was cool.
Show off some neat stuff. From a great stuff.
So yay or nay for what's about to begin in UK?
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
Borderline.
I don't know.
Borderline.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how this
classmate. I had high hopes for Class, and then it dropped. I liked Tourchwood, but then you had Miracle Day. Sarah Jane, because she passed away, and I wish they could have done some kind of ending the way they did on YouTube and everything. I know that was a very sad ending they did for her and stuff, but it's like I get my hopes up, and then they just.
Yeah, well, just remember, Gadget, if you ever watch a new spin-off, just compare it to K9 Australia and then everything.
That's why I didn't even mention that one. I'm like, I did not even mention.
Like, if you compare watching
K9 Company was good, right? K9 Company, I only saw a little bit when I was little.
Yeah,
K9 Company only had 3 episodes. That was good.
Yeah, K9 Company was basically the first Sarah Jane spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you mentioned the K9. You said it was Australia, right?
Yeah.
Because I hardly ever hear anyone even acknowledge that show's existence. It's like the Star Wars holiday special of shows. Like people don't really talk about it.
Slick K9. He's slick and he's got legs.
It's like Ghostbusters 2016. We do not mention it, but it does exist. But it's the same. But yeah, I would say K9, the Australian one's probably the worst one I've ever seen as a spin-off. But you know what? When you go through the wilderness years without Doctor Who, you'll take anything.
Yeah.
And we're hoping this is not going to be after Christmas, the wilderness years.
Exactly.
You could also compare it to Dimensions in Time, which also never happened.
There we go. So
everybody get your fanfic fingers ready.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Gadget, where can we find you?
Well, I'm never going to say I'm going to another event or not going because I get surprises left and right. So I'm just going to leave the universe. We'll surprise you all where I'll be next. But right now I'll be making sure this thing doesn't get any closer because I'm going to promise you guys I'll fix that bedroom somehow and everything. But you can find my books on lulu.com. You can find other adventures. I have my new channel, Gadget Pendragon After Dark. It was a test site, but now it's going to go for something else and everything. It's basically going to be here for the TARDIS and any other events that I do live with you guys and stuff. But I really would love likes on that page and everything, as well as my regular page, regular Gadget Pendragon 0711 all together, or Gadget 0711 all together. Instagram, everywhere else, because I need my 1,000 followers. I want to go live again with you guys on Instagram. I really do, because you missed out. That parade would have been live on Instagram for you guys. But we'll see what happens. And also just keep watching because I'm trying to revamp Gadget Vlogs as well as anything. Like I said, I just had a test thing and we're seeing where everything lies. But right now it looks like everyone's watching from phones instead of long ways.
Oh, we're getting a decent number from both, I think. But yeah, definitely the new
version. We went from what, 90, not even 95 yet, to 96, almost 97 within a week. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. I'm studying this right now for everybody.
For sure. Candyman, where can we find you?
You can find me here at the Legend of Traveling TARDIS. You can find me on my Instagram account, which is instagram.com/cyborg T100_cosplay. And you can find me over Spill the Geek Tea. And this Sunday episode should be quite interesting if you like unit and crossovers.
There we go. So there's Spill the Geek Tea at Spill the Geek Tea 1. As for me, you can find me, of course, here on Tuesdays on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can find me on Sundays at Spill the Geek Tea as well, most Sundays. You can find me on the first Thursday of every month on Happiness Patrol. That's youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol Show. And I'm going to show you something here. Do you still have the screen zoomed in, Sean?
I sure do.
Uh-oh.
Take a look at that.
Okay, maybe my screen is too
special. This Thursday.
Oh,
you're not.
Yeah, we are. This Tuesday, 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about
Life Day,
the Star Wars Holiday Special.
That's really weird because I've heard it didn't exist, but I'm very
I have it on VHS.
It existed.
I'm very proud of you for bringing it back into the universe, Dave.
Exactly. So definitely join us, youtube.com/@Happiness Patrol Show. Does
Jessica still have her life blanket?
Sorry, what was that?
I think Jessica has a life blanket, right? A life.
Yep. She doesn't. She does. She's not wearing it for this episode.
Okay.
But she does have one. But
I'm still disappointed with you, Dave, that you're not doing Battle End or
we got to save something for future seasons. That's
and I have the DVDs right here of the Ewok, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I have Sindel. I know. Yeah.
There is a landing page for this, so you can go to the page at Happiness Patrol Show, hit the notification bell. It'll be running as a premiere. It's pre-recorded. I'll be in the comment section. Some of the other team will be in the comment section, so join us for that. As well, you can find me on every other Monday on Horses on Film, at Horses on Film. We're having a great time over there, Cameron and Scott and I. This coming Monday, which is the 7th, I think. 7th, 8th, 9th. 8th. Whatever next Monday is.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Whatever next Monday is.
Monday's the 8th.
We're talking Blazing Saddles.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
So, yeah, definitely join us for that as well. Other than that, thank you guys very much for
where can we find
us here
Sean?
on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. By all means,
where can we find Sean?
Oh yeah, Sean. I'm sorry, Sean.
Oh, that's okay.
You.
No,
it's
fine.
Where can we find you?
People can find me on YouTube at Our Philosophy Is, where I at least plan to pick up my series where I was talking about Doctor Who in terms of all the Troughton episodes, breaking those down story by story. But I'm going to ask this question there too. Let me know when I upload my next episode about Troughton if you would like me to dive into a possible episode by episode review of another one of my favorite series from the 60s, The Twilight Zone. Let me know if you'd like me to talk about The Twilight Zone, because I could talk about that series for hours. And indeed, I might.
And
so
you
check
might.
me out at Our Philosophy Is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Are you going to do the two doctors? Are you going to count that as a Troughton episode?
I will count it as a Troughton episode, and I will not be happy about it, but I will count it.
Nobody was happy about that episode.
Fair enough.
I'm just glad I got both of them back. So for that,
there
episode.
You go. Thank you all for joining us here on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. If you have not given us a subscribe, give us a subscribe wherever it is you're watching us. Specifically, though, try and pop over to our YouTube channel, which is somewhere in all of these things at Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
It's there.
It's there. I'm just looking for the banner to put up there. I can find our tip top. I can find other stuff, but you think I can find our YouTube channel? No,
it's in the
doobly-doo. At the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. That's the website, but it's at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And until next week, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the flip side.